Thanks for joining us for episode 5 of This Life's Work with Charles Ratliff and friends. I'm Dana Schlegenhaft. I'm joined here at Haxton Road Studios by our podcast co-host, Charles Ratliff. Good morning, Charles.
Hey, good morning, Dana. Good to see you again.
Good to see you here in person. A little distant, but better than
distant
virtual.
Enough.
Yes, distant enough. All right. So, Charles, today there's a lot of layers to the conversation that we're going to have today. And really, we're talking about security, safety, and health. And I want to throw a fact out there first to kind of put everything in perspective. Between 2018 and 2019, Bentonville was the 5th fastest growing city in the country, according to the Census Bureau. Now, let's couple that with the fact that we're in the midst of a pandemic. Bentonville events and gatherings have changed drastically in the last several months. Today, we want to examine how these large events, with a growing population and health advisories in place, how they can remain safe for your family and friends to socialize, support local small businesses, and gather for entertainment. Charles, you want to introduce our guests today?
I would love to. I appreciate that. Hey, so it's my pleasure to introduce these folks that are here. We have Doug Elms and Deanna Duncan, principals with SafeHaven Security. Hey, welcome to y'all. Thank you for coming. So I had the pleasure of working with both of them at Walmart a few years ago. And I would say this, that when you meet them, don't interpret their pleasant smiles and good-natured personalities as folks are unaware of the activities around them. They have a trained sixth sense. Some call a situational awareness, Doug. I think maybe is a technical term for that. And I'd also like to introduce Andrew Heath, the Executive Director of Downtown Bentonville, Inc., or as we finally refer to it, DBI, downtown. Doug, you or Deanna, if you don't mind, can you give us the background of Safe Haven and your introduction to Downtown Bentonville, Inc.?
Yeah, thanks, Charles, for having us here today. You gave away one of our secrets, our sixth sense, so be careful doing that. I grew up in Little Rock and was a Little Rock police officer back in the 80s and 90s, and Little Rock earned the distinction at that point of becoming the nation's most dangerous small city in America. And if you remember, there was a lot going on about drug trafficking and gangs in Little Rock. HBO actually did a special called Bangin' in the Rock. And so after about 10 years of that, I kind of had my fill and was very fortunate to be recruited to Walmart, where I spent almost 24 years, most of that in the global security area. I helped found Walmart's executive protection team and traveled to over 60 countries with 3 different CEOs, helped create workplace violence prevention program within Walmart, and then specialized in what's called threat assessment and management, which is helping companies identify risk to the corporation, and then also interpersonal violence, which ties in with the workplace violence. So I retired about 3 years ago, and the ball has kept rolling ever since. So just really through referrals, we work now with companies. SafeHaven Security Group works with companies on 3 pillars. One is executive and family protection, which is not really about bodyguards and ninjas. It's a lot about just educating executives what their risks are. And there's a different risk between driving in Northwest Arkansas and getting on a business trip and going to Mexico City, those kinds of things. The second big bucket is the behavioral and threat assessment and management. We educate companies, mainly HR professionals, about the warning signs of workplace violence, and once they recognize those warning signs in the workplace, they call us back and they say, help us de-escalate this situation. And then thirdly, we provide professional uniform security officers. And a little notch up from what you might see in many locations. Because of our corporate experience, we understand that all 3 of those elements really have to coordinate with businesses. Security is not a standalone entity. It has to cohesively work with the business and be part of the business and support the business goals. So that's our mindset at SafeHaven Security Group. We partner with clients to create safe environments and to keep their names out of the headlines, at least in a negative fashion. So we are here in Bentonville, and we like being part of the community. We knew about Downtown Bentonville Inc., and we go to the farmers market, and we go to First Fridays, and we're sad that there was a delay in having those. So we wanted to reach out and have discussions with Downtown Bentonville Inc. about what we can do to help restart those initiatives.
And Dan, I think you called me separately, unrelated to DBI. Is that how we?
Yes, Charles. It's kind of funny how things kind of morphed into where we are today. But I saw a Facebook video. Andrew was saying